Happy Tuesday. And we are live. We are live. And we're going to go live over on Instagram as well. Welcome to all the folks over on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and let's get into Insta. All right. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. So today we're going to be talking about blocking your blessings through job referrals. Again, we know we like to keep the chat cute and light. 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. Welcome, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Tuesday. How we living? How we feeling? Okay, so as you notice, like this is going to be a prop moving forward. I know that we love the tiny mic, but it's not giving efficiency because it's giving AOL dial up when I jump on the mic. And so there's that. But welcome, everybody. We're going to be talking quickly for the next 20 minutes about how you may be potentially blocking your blessings if you are looking to get plugged into job opportunities, and what are 2 quick ways that you can actually position yourself to make that happen. So we're at 1:03. I know we're a couple minutes early on Instagram, but technically this is just supposed to be 1 o'clock. Welcome, folks. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so if you are new here, will this be saved? Yes, this will be saved, Monet. So if you're new here, my name is Bianca Jeanty. I am a career strategist and international speaker. I help seasoned professionals master the backdoor job hunt so they can successfully and confidently pivot careers. So again, today what we're going to be talking about is a little bit more nuance in terms of job referrals, which is one of the best ways to get in the door, for lack of better words. But there are just some subtle people nuances like that maybe we may not necessarily say out loud, but this is I want to keep it unfiltered and keep it real as to what are some of the things that you may not necessarily be seeing how all of your job referrals are actually converting, or more of them can convert. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk a little bit. We'll have a little bit of time for us to go through questions towards the end. Again, very light, 20, 30 minutes. This is not going to be elongated 3-hour room here. I want you to get in and get out and really just bring to awareness on how you can bring yourself and give yourself a little bit more, leeway for success. Cool. So thumbs up if you are good to go over on Instagram, if you can hear me well, and also over on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Just drop a comment over and let me know if you're able to hear me as well. And we're going to jump on in. Jump right on in. Let's see what we got. Okay, I think we're good to go. So let's talk about referrals. Okay. And the unspoken rule around job referrals. The unspoken rule that no one will necessarily directly say, but they're trying to say it without saying it, is don't have me out here looking crazy. Okay. Don't have me out here looking crazy if I plug you into this opportunity. And there's a reason why. So a referral is probably one of the most precious cosigns that you can have as a professional, right? So this isn't one of those things where you're like, my friend thinks you're cute kind of endorsement. This is an intentional decision to say that I trust this person enough to back them as somebody that needs to be over at our company. So your track record includes your strength of judgment when you are making a referral over into your company. So I want to just highlight the risk that somebody takes on by actually referring you in, right? So when they're over in the office, when they're saying, hey, I think somebody here that actually could be a really, really great value add, it's not just, okay, great, bring them in. It's, okay, does this person have great people within their network? Does this person have discernment and judgment on the type of people that they would actually need on the team? They know what is needed on the team. So obviously that has a little bit more weight to it. But that being said, if this is a terrible referral, that actually impacts them later on down the line, because if they want to plug somebody else down the line, their weight decreases just a little bit. So I want to bring that to our attention, just because if someone is kind enough to do that, be gracious and be appreciative and treat that like gold, right? Because sometimes we don't necessarily get some of those secondary or third opportunities to be able to prove that we have really, really great people within our network. The relationships that we have outside of the office sometimes amplifies our perceived value, our overall career equity. So you really want to be mindful that referrals can be the turning point in your candidacy, sealed by a follow-up, but in getting that advocate, you need to show the advocate that there's a reason why you should be vouched for. So this is a really big vouch. Don't have your referral looking crazy. It's happened before when, as soon as that interview happens and, the manager has to talk to the person that plugged it in, and was just like, yeah, like, so how do you know this person again? Right. Oh, okay, cool. They didn't, attend the meeting on time, or, they had a couple of typos over within the email, or they didn't really understand the role opportunity. Come correct. Right? Like, as much as we're hustling, you want to make sure that we come correct. Yes, be graceful, but really do your best to make sure that you're putting yourself in position to win and you're establishing trust. Now, the second piece of it is, let's think about the fact that we may be getting plugged in either directly through somebody that's within network, or somebody made an introduction on our behalf to do that as well. Okay. So when we have these secondary, you're literally borrowing equity from other people's relationships. And so in those conversations that you have with the people that are plugging you in, there has to be subtle ways for you to show that they should trust you. And this is where your soft skills are going to come into play. It's not enough just to have a strong resume, a strong optimized LinkedIn, and really great, case studies, but you have to really show the presence of somebody that cares, and that they should be able to at least anticipate what it would be like for you to be on their team or within the company, just on those small, short interactions. Kind of like the book Outliers with Malcolm Gladwell, or is it not? It's not Outliers. Blink. There it is. Blink. Blink. And it just talks about just like sometimes those quick moments that you have, or those quick interactions, are actually very telling on what it would be like to interact with that person. So when you are handling your referrals, keep it tight. Make sure you're following up. Make sure you're doing it in a timely fashion. Do all the things that you need to do to make sure that the person trusts you, and put yourself in that person's shoes. Why would I refer me if I don't know me? Right? Like, if I don't know you, why would I refer you? What are the things that are going to make me actually advocate and push on your behalf? If I don't know you and my friend is telling me, this person is good, I'm really leaning on the fact that my friend said that you're good, right? Or that you're qualified. And I'm hoping and praying that my friend or my colleague has, is able to discern that as well too, especially if I'm not necessarily sure. So we're going to go over into how you may be actually missing the mark when you send over your referral. So let me know if you have any questions over in, look like we got a question coming in here. Okay, let me know if you have any questions as it relates to that as well too. So one of the ways that you can actually just fast track some of these referrals is giving them an actual introduction in terms of how to describe you, right? So one of the things that happens is, okay, you have the informational interview, you have that quick chat. And so when you have the quick chat, it's like, okay, great. We had a good conversation. Let me see if let me follow up with them. 9 times out of 10, if you just send over a resume, it's probably going to get deprioritized. And here's why, right? Just sending your resume over by itself, that may be a little mediocre. And I know that stings a little bit, but here's the thing. Don't take this personally. 9 times out of 10, the person that's actually plugging you in cares to see you win. But the reality is they're probably slammed with work responsibilities. Do you need to send them a 4-page letter in your follow-up? No, but your follow-up is an opportunity to create a sense of urgency. So what can you say? What can you say that shows that you're not taking this favor for granted? And so in your follow-up, one of those first things that you want to be able to do is, okay, let me give them a little bit more meat and potatoes for them to work on my behalf, right? So when you're not even just sending over your resume, you're sending over the job ID. If this is something that's actually posted over on the website, right? Give them a 1 to 2 line introduction of yourself. So in the case that they need to circulate your information over within internally, they have some sort of context outside of just like them trying to remember the conversation. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to remember the conversation. They're not going to remember just exactly the conversation. They're going to remember that they had a good conversation. So give them the language because the words are probably going to go missing. So that's the first thing that you can do. And sometimes that's just as easy as like making a Google Doc and saying, hey, meet Bert. Bert is, an excellent relationship manager. He has skills over in sales, etc. Blah, 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 blah. Bert, can you take this away? And it just takes a lot more work away from the referral having to plug you in. When you don't do some of these extra steps and you just send over your resume and you're just saying, hey, thanks for the conversation. Here's my resume. Let me know if you need anything else. You're accidentally giving your connector a lot more work to do than just the request of plugging you into the opportunity. We all know what it's like when we're over on our desk and we're exhausted because we have 15 things that we got to do. And so one of the things is, oh yeah, I have to refer this person in or plug this person into the ecosystem. Okay, I'll get back to it. Deprioritize. By the time we circle back over to it, just remembering the conversation alone is like, okay, what did we talk about? It was a good conversation, but I don't really remember. When they refer back over to that email, make it easy for them. Literally make it easy for them. Give them lines, recapping your conversation, how you want to be described. If you're a career switcher and you want to be known as just your current role, you need to give them the language for them to be able to do over on their behalf. So that's something for you to consider as well too. And it just is easier and it makes it look sharp. Now, when we talk about, okay, if I don't know this person and I'm referring them over into the system over at our job, aside from my friend just saying that this person is good, what else do I have as a reference in terms of why I would trust this person? Those small interactions, including giving over your resume with a 1 to 2 line introduction and a recap from your conversation, is showing me, okay, this person they know the vibes. They know the vibes enough to know that I'm busy. I'm not going to remember this. So they're making it easy. Okay, if this is what they're doing before they even get on the job or go into the opportunity, then I feel a little bit better being able to plug them over into that. So if that makes sense, throw a thumbs up in there. Jump right on into it. Let's see what we got. I think that there's another question that just popped up on here. Okay, cool. And then the last thing, honestly, just your follow-up is going to be the thing that sets you apart. So what are some of the feedback that I've gotten is like, okay, I've had conversations with some clients or some people that are interested in working with me, and they ask a question. They're just like, hey, I had an informational or I had a meeting with somebody. I gave them my information and they didn't hit me back. And so I said, okay, cool. Did you follow up? And they're like, no. And I'm like, girl, follow up. And in that follow up, there's so many different things that you can say. I'm trying to say hi to everybody. There's so many different things that you can say to basically be able to make sure that they don't forget about you, right? Hey, yes, just following up might be the first email that you send over to them. But hey, show the additional work that you have been doing aside from just getting connected over to them, right? So let's say you get plugged in, you meet a different contact over within the company, follow up with them saying, hey, following up, I know I had sent you over my information, just with my resume and additional information, but I want to let you know that I got connected over to somebody else over on this team. Let me know what you think, or I just want to bring that to your attention that I'm still hustling out here. Okay. And so that is going to actually show and prove to them that the referral that they're making is, in air quotes, a good relational investment, right? And that they feel a little bit more confident being able to advocate, especially if they know that there are going to be multiple people within the organization advocating over on your behalf. So even as you make new contacts, as you get new information, or as you get more traction over in a different direction, or you connect over with a recruiter, it doesn't necessarily just have to be, hey, just following up, did you plug me in? Hey, just following up, did you plug me in? It can be, hey, following up and also quick update. I did these couple of things as well too. So you're showing that, respectfully, we're going to make it happen with or without you, but I would love your support. And so that in itself, people like to align themselves with winners or people that are actually going to go get to it. So these are the things that make a lot more sense in terms of just setting yourself apart to show just quick little snippets of building trust and rapport with somebody and allowing for them to see that, okay, I may not know this person, from the last couple of years, But in these small, short interactions that I have had with them, I understand why they either got plugged into me to plug into my company, or I understand why this person is going after this opportunity because they're persistent, they're adamant, they're sharp, they're showing all the information that they need to show, and they're actually going after it in a way that I probably haven't seen other people do it as well too. So when those things are missing, it's not that your referral isn't necessarily going to happen, but you do decrease the likelihood of it happening if you just leave it by chance, right? Do we want to, especially with referrals, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. We don't know what happens behind the scenes. We don't know what happens when we send over a referral. We just know that it's in somebody's inbox, and that it may or may not have circulated over to the hiring manager or over to the right person, or maybe it did and it landed over in the hiring manager's books as well too. But we need to do our part as candidates, if this is something that you want to do, to show that you are able to generate influence even from outside of the organization, that you can create your own little marketing campaign about yourself, even with not even being within the organization. It's kind of one of those things where you have the team weekly status and they're talking about an open role over on their team. It's the difference between, oh, okay, cool, we'll check it over with HR and then with a recruiter to see if they have anybody, to two people on the same team saying, yeah, I got connected over with Dolly. And, I think that at this point, this person said that they're a good look, and another person says, oh yeah, like they co-sign it too. You kind of look kind of fire. You look kind of fire. Like, all right, you know what? Let's pull this person in if we have multiple people on the team saying, let's talk to this person. So I say all that to say those are just two quick ways. What we talked about during this conversation is really about how sometimes we may be blocking our blessings by just doing the bare minimum when it comes to job hunting, right? And we know that, yes, I need to jump on LinkedIn. I need to get plugged in. I need to get the referrals. But am I making it easy for my referral to plug me in, right? And so those things include, the context of that is giving them language to actually describe who you are and what it is that you do and what your value is over to the organization. And then following up with not just, hey, did you plug me in, but hey, here are updates that are happening over on my end as well too. So that gives them that sense of trust and rapport to continue to advocate on your behalf, even when you're not in the room. Cool. So let me address, I feel like I said a lot. So let me address any of the questions that are coming in over on the comments, and we're going to jump off in 5 minutes, but let me know what y'all think. This was valuable to you. Let's see. This will be live. Yes, it'll be saved over at a later time. I'm scrolling in. Hi, guys. Trying to say hello and wave. Thank you for the thumbs up. Hey, Munch. Makes a ton of sense, right? You never acknowledge my feedback in the DM. We'll get back to you. Thank you. Okay. Looking and sounding awesome. Thanks, Gavin. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to jump back over to the top and just make some other notes as well to consider. So some of the things that we talk about over within my group coaching program, and enrollment will begin tomorrow. So if you're on the wait list, you will get priority over in terms of where you want to place yourself. And if you want to get early access over to that, so you can make that confident switch. But the nuances beyond just job hunting isn't necessarily just a matter of a squeaky clean resume and a LinkedIn. There are the people skills that sometimes get lost, especially virtually, that we talk about on how to build that rapport and how to establish those connections when we're doing that over on the job hunt, and when we're doing that from switching different industries. So if networking is not really your thing, you do not need to be an extrovert to do that. And I make that very, very clear over within the majors of how can you actually establish and build a network in the target area that you want to go into, and people be confident that you can do it, and not necessarily you trying to break into this industry. It's not a matter of you breaking into the industry. You're using your skill set to create repeatable success. You're almost becoming a human algorithm or a business athlete in that way. So if some of the things that you're struggling with are like, okay, I want to do the outreach, but I'm a little bit nervous. I don't feel like people are actually going to reply back over to me, or I'm struggling with, figuring out how my skills translates over into multiple environments and how to actually speak to that without feeling like I'm too junior, or I have to take an entry level role, or I'm ready to interview, but I'm just nervous about them focusing too much on my background being non-traditional versus the fact that I can actually do this job. Shoot me a DM, say majors, and let's see if I can actually help. There's a community that's of people that are actually making this active pivot, getting referrals and getting plugged into the likes of some of your favorite companies because of the fact that they were just able to consistently do the same actions that generates momentum for them to, one, feel confident, and two, not get discouraged during the hunt because of the fact that there's just so much smoke and mirrors. And sometimes when you don't see the immediate results, you kind of peel back and you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a break from job hunting because I'm just kind of tired of it all. And sometimes that momentum, when you stopped, is what it is that you actually need to build that foundation. Shoot me a DM, say majors. I'm going to ask a couple of questions and we're going to schedule some additional time. And if you're on the wait list, you're going to get some details over within this week on how to jump on board over into the next cohort. And that is that on that. And also, if you have applied over to the scholarship for the majors through Boss Magazine, we are announcing our recipients this week. So keep your eyes peeled. Okay. Keep your eyes peeled and keep your emails opened. And we're going to make that announcement. And that person is actually going to document their entire process over within the majors and what it looks like and what the things that they have been learning and having to transform from a mindset perspective. So really excited about that. Let me know if you have any questions. I know that we already passed our 20-minute mark. And yes, this will be saved over on all the platforms, but let me see what you got. Thank you. Thanks for joining. And just, yes, full transparency. Let me tell you something about my little tiny mic. It's a prop. It was all a lie. Okay. It was all a lie. What else we got? Okay, gang. Any questions? There's probably a DM from me just, asking, hey, how did you like this live? Let me know. But in the meantime, I will be back every single Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And we're going to be talking about some of these topics. Last week, we talked about the shame of under-accomplishment. And so if that is something that you are struggling with and feeling like, okay, did I actually do enough over at my job, or did I do enough over in my role? Check out that live. That live might actually be a little bit more encouraging than you think. And we will see you soon. All right. Bye, everybody.